Hi folks, this is Jay. Hope you're okay today. Just having a quick cup of tea and just dropping base. I hope everybody's okay. It's good to see you all, and love to everybody out there. I just having a bit of a giggle to myself. It was really funny the other day. DPR Jones came on the Socratic Club, and he asked me, am I a geocentrist? And I hadn't got a clue what he was talking about. I really hadn't got a clue. I'd never heard the word geocentrist. And so I said, I don't know, Anyhow, this atheist came on the YouTube. He said, Jay, what is your position? And I said, I don't know. I said, I need give me a week to think about it. A week to think about whether the Earth goes round the sun. Oh dear me! I just think that's funny. That's typical Jay. You get some good stuff, but you get some funny stuff as well. Just dropping base. Going to be busy next week, so I might be. I've got the Socratic Club next week at 11 PM. We're looking at history, the problem of history. But I won't be around as much next week. I've just got a lot of things booked up to be doing. So if you don't see me around, it's not because I'm ignoring you. It's just that I've got a lot of things I've got to be getting on with. So I just wanted to leave a couple of questions with you to chew over for next week. And if people are willing to make video responses, I know one atheist has made a video response, but I'd like you to make some video responses to the couple of questions that I have for you. I might be going on the Lying Ghost show. I might not. This Sunday night, so watch out for that. Some Christian guy's been asked to go on, but the Christian guy wants me to go on with him, so he's going to get back to them and see if they're going to let me on as well with him. So it might not turn out to be, it might, I don't know, so you'll have to check that out. Plus I don't know if I'll be able to have enough time to go on, as I do go out on a Sunday night, so so we'll see. Anyhow, look out for that, the Lying Ghost show, and see if I'm around on Sunday night. If I'm not there, well, I'm sorry. Yeah, two questions. First of all, altruism. Those who don't know what the word means, it means selflessness. And basically, atheists use this argument to say that we don't need religion for morality. We've evolved our morality, and when we see people do good things and stuff like that, we can explain it from an evolutionary model, and we can develop our ethics from evolution, and we can develop it through science. So they've given an explanation of altruism through an evolutionary process. And then when it comes to positive ethics, we get people like Sam Harris who will say that we can use science to develop morality, and that morality can be, for example, we can use as a yardstick what suffering is, and if something is suffering, we can use that as a benchmark to know that that's wrong. Okay. So my response to all this is, what do you mean by altruism? Where's the word selflessness come from? How is selflessness a scientific word? How does science unpack the word selflessness? Is not that a term used in our culture that we've taken, borrowed from Christianity or from our culture, and we've used that as a term to describe certain behaviours? So first of all, what do we mean by selflessness? where did we get the term, how did we get the term, how come we're using the term, etc. The other thing is how do we know that the model of altruism that we have is the right model? Because it seems to me that there are a couple of schools of thought about what altruism is and how it works in society and in different cultures. So who's to decide which is the right understanding of how socially and psychologically altruism works from an evolutionary perspective? There are a number of schools of thought. So when an atheist comes along and says, I can explain your morality, your altruism, from an evolutionary model, I would say, well, show me, because there are so many different schools of thought. Which school of thought are you in? And why is yours better than the other school of thoughts? And the next thing I would say is the complexity of the subject, because the altruism of a Buddhist is not the same as the altruism of a Christian. And the altruism of different types of Christian groups, whether it be Catholic, Neo-Orthodox, Greek Orthodoxy, Protestant, Evangelical, Charismatic, the altruisms within those categories of different subsets of Christianity are different. So a simplistic using the model of altruism doesn't explain the full complexity and range of human experience. So I'd love you atheists to take up the challenge and to try and unpack some of the thinking and questions that I've thrown at you about altruism. And then the second issue is concerning this morality that Sam Harris comes up with, and other atheists, about they can use scientific method to give us kind of a morality. A couple of questions that I want to ask you is it objective morality? Now you say, so you need to unpack, is it objective morality? Is it morality based on objective? And I suspect what you'll say is it's not completely objective. It's only objective in terms of if we have some evidence from a scientific perspective, and it's confirmed scientifically that if an action causes suffering, that is suffering, then it's kind of objective, but it's not fully objective as the Christian would use that term. So if it's not fully objective, then is it not subjective? Is it not either one or the other? Is it not objective and or subjective? How can you have a morality that is kind of in the middle? It's not subjective and it's not objective. Because if you say, well, from a scientific perspective, suffering, a benchmark of suffering is the benchmark, and it's wrong. If we're going to do that, then that assumes that your definition of suffering and the parameters of what you think suffering is the right definition. But who's to say another person who thinks that, for example, self-flagellation, they think that's okay, and they don't see that as suffering, so they think that's a natural and okay behaviour, whereas your model would say, well, no, suffering is wrong, that's our benchmark. If it makes you suffer, then it's not right. And so how do we differentiate between different views of suffering? And sometimes in moral situations, we have to suffer for the sake of others. So for example, I might give my kidney or a body part to another human being or to someone to help them function if they haven't got it. I might donate some of my body part. Now that's a form of suffering, that's helping somebody else, but from your scientific point of view, I personally am suffering because I'm given a body part, and my body will not have all the functionaries that it should have. So I don't know. So then, if something like that happens, how's science gonna arbitrate between my individual suffering and somebody else's benefit? I don't know. To me, it seems to me that it's a too simplistic, nebulous concept. And for example, let's take a 5-year-old child. If you take your position and I ask you a question, is rape of a 5-year-old child good or bad? And what will you say? You'll say, well, it's bad. Why is it bad? Because it entails suffering. But here's the question: did you really need science to tell you that raping a 5-year-old child's bad? If you need science to tell you that, then surely that's the pits. Basically, you've got an inbuilt sense of morality, and you know that it's absolutely wrong at all times.